My father and mother, they're such wonderful Christians.
November 14th, 1982. This is Joe Todd, an interview with Nora Maxwell. Mrs. Maxwell, when were you born?
Well, I'll be 103 years August today. August the 19th, North Carolina.
Where were you born?
Honeygrove, Texas.
Where?
Honeygrove, Texas.
Honeygrove, Texas.
Born and raised there. Born in that used to be county seat of Fannin County.
Of which county? I'm sorry?
Fannin County.
Fannin County.
The county seat used to be there, now it's Bonham.
What was your father's name?
John Avery. Proud of it, he was such a good Christian. He was always leading prayer meeting and the superintendent in school, everything in the church he did. And he was elected to be, to preach, and go in the conference. And so there was 5 girls and 1 boy, and we had 3 farms, and he had a store and everything. And so she said, I'll stay home. She didn't say anything till he was ready to go to conference. And she says, well, I'll stay home and take care of the kids and the property, and you go and preach. But he never did. After she said that, I was superintendent and things like that.
Where was your father from?
Tennessee.
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 And what was your mother's name?
Harriet Whitman before she's married.
And where was she from?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. What's your first memory of Honeygrove? What was it like as a child growing up there?
Well, really, shall I tell you this? The happiest time of my childhood. I had a brother, he made a great big sled, taking 2 horses to pull it. So it was large enough, there was 8 of us on that sled. And so we went all over the country, snow riding, And that was the happiest first memory. Oh, it was happy.
How old were you then?
I was about 7, I guess, something like that. I don't know.
Did you go to school in Honeygrove?
No, Masco.
Where?
Masco, Texas.
Okay, how large was the school?
Well, it was a pretty good sized school for the town. It wasn't such a large town. But we had a happy time there.
How many students were in the school?
Huh?
How many students were in the school? Do you remember?
No, I believe there was 3 rooms to the building. No.
Yeah. Do you remember your teacher's name?
Yeah, the woman here, Costigan.
Costigan?
That was my first school teacher. There's a Miss Costigan here, and she's this man, her husband, I can't get it straight either way, great uncle or something like that. And so when I come in and found out, I hung up. I remembered Costigan, my first school teacher.
When did you come to Oklahoma?
When I married, I was 21.
You were 21 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
We moved here. I was married, my husband.
Do you know what year that was?
Well, I was 21.
So that would have been about, if you were born in 81, that would have been about 1902. What part of Oklahoma did you move to?
Coalgate.
Coalgate. Did you go all the way through high school?
Yeah, I went to college 3 years. When I was married, my parents wanted me to go every year finish. And they promised her all kind of things. My father said, go ahead, let's finish. He fixed me so that I would make after work that month. Forget about what the promise she was going to be promised, but Mary, when fix it, Mary will marry you did.
What college did you go to?
Polytechnic College, Fort Worth.
Okay. What did you?
It's Wesley College now.
What did you study?
Well, I take music and just a college course. I taught music 1 year. I didn't care for it.
What did you teach?
Music.
Where?
I can't think of the place there. It was small.
In Texas?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember the Spanish-American War? 1898?
Well, I never heard about it, but I don't remember. No.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember when Teddy Roosevelt came down and had men join him for the Rough Riders?
Uh-huh.
Did you ever see him or meet him?
No, I never did.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to tell you that up here I've got a letter from the president and from the governor. Well, she'd read the governor's letter for me.
Yeah, Jimmy, President Carter and George Nye.
Yeah. George Nye wrote such a good letter.
Yeah. That's nice.
And then I have a letter on on her birthday from the president of the college where I went 84 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of proud of that.
Yeah. And you went to the Polytechnic College for 3 years?
It's Wesley College.
It's Wesley College now.
Yeah.
What's your fondest memory of Honeygrove?
Well, I guess that's snow ride.
The snow ride?
I guess that's snow ride.
How long did you live in Honeygrove?
I was born and raised there.
How many years did you?
Well, I don't know. I didn't go to school there. We moved to this other little town.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go to school at Honeygrove, but I was born and raised there. I went to Chicago school.
What's your recollection of Coalgate when you first moved there?
Well, I don't remember. I never was too crazy about it.
How big was the town?
But it is a pretty good town. Of course, it's a cold night town.
What was your husband's name?
Hugh Maxwell. Could hardly think of my husband's name. Hugh Maxwell.
Hugh Maxwell. Was he a coal miner?
No.
What kind of work did he do?
Well, he was in the store there. Worked in the store.
Oh, he was a merchant?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. What kind of store did he have?
Well, he didn't have a store. He worked in the store. He was helping.
What was the name of the store?
I don't remember.
Was it like a dry goods store?
No, I believe it was a grocery store.
Grocery store.
Uh-huh.
How long did you live in Coalgate?
Let's see. I just don't remember how long.
Were the streets paved in Coalgate when you moved there?
No.
How big was the town?
Well, it was pretty good size little town. It was no city. Like when I come to Oklahoma City, I'd sold my own car and go get me a new car when I come to Oklahoma City. And I was 70. When that first time I went out in the city, I decided I didn't need any new car. I said, I don't need a new car. I'm going to get out on the streets with a new car in 70.
Mm-hmm. So. What are your memories of Coalgate? What do you remember about the town?
Well, I don't remember so much about it. We didn't live there so very long. Whitman. That's how long I lived there.
Did you live in a frame house, brick house?
No, it was a frame house.
Frame house? From Coalgate, where did you move?
To Norman.
Norman? How long did you live in Norman?
7 years.
7 years.
I had 3 boys. They was in college.
What were you doing on Statehood Day? What were you doing on Statehood Day, 1907, when we became a state?
What was I doing then?
Yeah. Were you in Norman in 1907? Or Coalgate?
I guess I was in Norman. I'm not sure.
Do you remember if they had any big celebrations or parties, dances when we became a state?
I never went to dance till I come here. I nearly 100 how old I was. First dance I went to was after I come here. My parents didn't believe in that, so we never did go.
What was Norman like when you moved there? Do you remember?
Yes, it was a nice town. I loved it. I still love Norman.
What was the university like?
Huh?
What was the university like when you first moved there? University of Oklahoma.
It was a good size. It was a little town. It wasn't no big town like it is now, of course. But it was real nice, and I still love Norman.
Did you know Dr. Boyd?
Who?
Dr. Boyd, who is head of the university?
B-O-Y-D.
B-O-I-D?
Yeah. Yes, I knew him when I was there. Well, I wasn't sure well acquainted, but I knew him.
Do you remember what he was like? Your impressions of him?
He was a fine man and all that. Yeah.
Did your husband play any sports at the university?
Oh, he didn't go. My boys did, though. They were very sporty, my boys. I had 2 boys in university, and they were both football players, baseball players.
What are their names?
Albert and Hugh.
What years did they attend the university?
Well, let's see. And my boy playing golf, and he fell on the golf course with a heart attack. So he had gone like an old man.
Yeah.
He's nearly 80 though.
Did you know Benny Owen?
Not too well. His name seems familiar.
Yeah, he was head of the sports at University of Oklahoma.
Head of what?
He was head of the athletics at University of Oklahoma.
Well, I didn't know too much about it.
Yeah.
My boy was quite athletic.
Yeah.
I never. I loved all of it. But I want to tell you this, Khrushchev's president of Russia. I always loved all kind of ball games and had to look at all of them and play. But when I heard him say that they'd never have war with the United States, that they'd get the young people interested in ball games and sex, and they'd put the people up in Washington, and they'd never have no war with the United States. That's just what they're doing. And I've never looked at the ball games since '54. I just love them. But I've never looked at the ball game. Of course, I don't do much good, but I feel like I'm doing my part.
Yeah. What was downtown Norman like when you lived there? What was downtown Norman like when you lived there?
It is quite a little town. Nice place.
Brick streets? Were the streets bricked?
I believe so. I just don't, I'm pretty sure. Paved a brick one.
When's the first time you came to Oklahoma City?
When I moved here.
What year was that?
Oh, I started thinking about Norman. Oklahoma City. in the military, Dad.
Mm-hmm. Was your husband in the military?
No.
Were your boys in the military?
No, neither one of them knew when that war was on. Why, when I was working for the government, and he was an engineer, they told the government they couldn't do it without him, so he didn't have to go to war. And the other one, he was taking training for officer in the Army, and the war was over with before he got through his training. So it meant my husband and my boy, I wanted them to do their part, but still I was lucky that they didn't have to.
Was that World War I or World War II?
It's World War I.
1917, 1918.
Well, my boys up in the military know about her. No, not being, I don't remember.
Yeah. Did you do any work for the war effort during World War I?
No. I tried to help people. I've always tried to help people, but nothing special.
Like, some of the women knitted sweaters and socks and folded bandages. Did you do anything like this?
No, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always tried to help everybody I could. Love everybody. I think that word love means a whole lot.
To regress, as a child, what kind of games did you play as a child?
You mean after we got up in the school?
Yeah.
Town ball, that was me. It was just like baseball only. Of course, town ball baseball is built up. But it was a whole lot like baseball, town ball.
Called town ball?
Town ball.
So you had like 3 bases and the bat?
Yeah. It shows up, it's just like baseball only. Baseball is built up more.
What else did you play? What other games did you play?
I don't remember that as the main thing. I like town ball. And I like baseball yet, but don't ever look at it.
Do you remember any of the little songs or tunes that you learned in school?
Well, most of my songs was Christian songs. I was raised by such Christian parents. And I want to tell you something. When my father had prayer every night morning, we had a great big fireplace, and at 8 I was the firebird the boy. And I mean, it ain't in the family. And so we'd kneel around that fireplace every night and morning. My father would read a chapter in the Bible, and then he would we'd all sing a song that he could, and then he'd pray a prayer. And so that was one of the greatest things to me. I don't remember what I was going to tell you, but I could tell things in my life. But I hope you'll be there.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember any poetry that you learned as a child? Any poems? Any stories?
Well, you remember when Thailand and Nora Island was about to be taken as burning Bible? You remember that?
What year was that?
I don't remember. But anyway, it looked like they was going to burn all the Bible, and I said, well, they're not going to burn all of it for me. I'm going to memorize. So I memorized about two or 3 chapters in the Bible. I said I wasn't going to let them burn it all up. And so that is poetry to me. I say it every night. I repeat that all of that I remembered in the Bible. And it helps me.
Have you written anything on your own?
No, I'm not a writer.
Mm-hmm.
No, just a plain old Nora.
Besides the sled that you remember, the 2-horse sled you talked about as a child?
Remember what?
Remember, you mentioned the sled?
Yeah.
What else do you remember about your childhood that stands out?
Well, I don't know. We had a great big yard full of roses, and there was 6 of us kids, and we just had a happy time. And we had a great big house. We had 4 rooms, 18 by 18 bedrooms, and a big hall, 18 by 12, and a porch clear across all that. Now, how far was that? 18, twice 18 is 36.
It's 36.
And then 12, all the way to 12. Is that much?
That's 48 feet.
That's what that porch was.
That's a big porch.
I never heard of it. It's large. But it was just large all over the house, the yard, and everything. Had such a happy childhood. And that's what helps.
Yes.
Parents, I'll be all I am there will be to my parents because they're such wonderful Christians.
The 1920s, the Roaring 20s, 1920s. Were you living in Norman?
I just don't remember.
Yeah. Do you remember the Flappers?
Huh?
Do you remember the Flappers of the 20s? What did you think about them?
Well, I didn't care for them. What do you think about them?
Well, that was long before my time, so I don't know much about them.
I remember the Flappers and all that, but I never had anything to do with them. I don't remember anything about them.
What did you do during the Depression, you and your husband? In the Dust Bowl in the 30s?
Well, we didn't have any trouble. But,
where was your husband working during the Depression?
Well, he had a store. I don't remember whether it was in the Depression or when it was.
Did he have a store in Norman also? Did he work in a store in Norman?
Yes.
You remember what store he worked in?
No, I don't.
Grocery store again?
Yes.
What were the dust storms like? What were the dust storms like in the 30s?
The what?
The dust storms, in the Dust Bowl. What were the dust storms like?
Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Well, did you go out in the dust storms or?
Stay in the house.
How'd you keep the dust out of the house?
All you could do is shut the windows and the doors.
Did you put anything over the windows to help keep the dust out, or just?
No. But it was pretty bad, all that.
To regress again, do you remember the Depression of 1907?
Let's see, how old was I then?
You'd be about 25 or 26.
I left just after I was married. My babies was coming along then. I guess I don't remember too much.
Yeah. So your husband worked all through the Depression then?
Yes, we didn't have any hard time at all. No, I've never had a hard time in my life. I think I can honestly say that. As an artist now. It's nice that the old people have a place to go, but I don't believe that much. I don't believe in old people. I think we got along so much better when the parents stayed in the home and taken care of. I enjoyed taking care of mom, mother, and father. And
so you think the parents should stay in the home then with the kids?
Yes. And I used to, before I was married, I'd always, my father had his neck broke and lived and would done wonderful things after. But you couldn't tell if he had it broke on it. Just go to talk to somebody over here, he'd have to turn the whole body around. You never know he ever had his neck broke. But he done wonderful things and done so much good after that. And
do you remember any of the big storms in Oklahoma, like floods or
well, no, I don't. I don't remember.
Remember when the Canadian River would flood through Norman? Remember the high water in Norman?
Well, I wasn't there then. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Much of that.
Do you remember Pearl Harbor Day when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor?
Yes, but I don't remember too much of that. I can't tell you much of that.
Did you do any work for the war effort during World War II?
I don't believe I did,
Yeah. That was 1941 through 45.
Well, I've always, every time that I thought I could help somebody, I tried to help them all my life. And I tried to live a good Christian life all my life. I'm going to tell you, when I was 4 years old, 2, 4, 5, well, I was down on my knees. I told him about the fireplace. I was down on my knees, we all and I just looked up. That was Jesus. Now, don't believe it unless you want to, but I saw him this strange. I see you just standing up there in front of me. And not many that young.
It's true.
But I have told truth my life. I did.
Yep.
He's been so wonderful to me.
How many children do you have?
I had 3 boys. One of them died with a heart attack in the leg. And then this other one, golf course, is playing golf. He fell on the golf course. He's in the hospital for 2 weeks in constant care. So he had never got over it, but he's 80 and he was here to see me today.
How many grandkids do you have?
I have 7 great-grandchildren, 3 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren.
Have any great-great-grandkids?
No, I have great-great-great-nieces named after me. That's her picture up there. She's so cute.
How old is she?
Well, she must be about 4 or 5 years old now.
Do you have any reflections on your life you'd like to tell your grandkids or your great-grandkids?
But to stay with Jesus, keep him before you all the time, and nothing that makes you happy all through life. And I wish I could tell the world, all the young people, is our word, our young people are doing better or worse with Jesus?
I think they're doing better. I think they are.
To hear it. Because, you know, I think parents are to blame. I feel sorry for young people. Because it's the parents that haven't taken care of them like they should. And that's the main thing, is parents taking care of the children. Yeah, this helped me a whole lot. When I was, my children, I had 3 boys, you know, like I said. And I had a neighbor across the street that raised 6 boys. And she come over when the 3rd one come. And she said, well, Miss Maxwell, another boy. And I said, yes. And she said, well, don't do it, you get to whip them. I said, just love them, love them, love them. And you know that's what I did, is love them, love them. And that's what pays, is to love them. And so that's what I did with my boys, and they've been so wonderful to me, all 3 of them.
Now, to regress again, when you came to Oklahoma in 1901 or 1902, how did you travel? Did you come by train or by wagon?
When I first come to Oklahoma.
When you came to Coalgate, how did you travel?
I believe it was buggy, I'm not sure. I think we come in a buggy.
Do you remember the trip up? Do you remember anything about the trip coming up?
No. I was out in Western Texas. Oh, I guess I come on train. Because I lived in West Haskell, Texas. You know where that is?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I lived there for quite a while. And that's where I was married.
In Haskell, Texas?
Haskell. And so then I come on the train to Coalgate.
No, where did you say Haskell is? Where is Haskell?
Yeah, in Western Texas.
What part of Texas? What part of Western Texas?
Haskell County. Western Texas. Haskell County.
So you came
I
by.
loved it out there.
What was it like in Haskell?
Huh?
What was it like in Haskell?
Well, it was a nice place. I loved it. I want to tell you, the evening before I was married, I went to town in a Surrey with the friends on it to buy something. And I was sitting in the buggy, and I had a friend that had been pretty good to me. So he come up and asked me to marry him the evening before I was married the next day. And he had four sections of land that started with cattle. He was an officer, and his brother was banker there in Haskell. So it was pretty nice. I just the day before I was married.
What was his name?
Oh, John, I can't think of his name now. John something.
Mm-hmm. How long did you live in Haskell?
Yeah, I just don't remember now. Anybody I know? I said, who was interviewed? Anybody I know?
I've talked to Kitty Sturdivant. She's a woman lawyer. She's about 91 or 92. I talked to Mr. Easley yesterday. He's 102. And let me see. Miss Sturdivant lived in Shawnee. Then she came to Oklahoma City. And Mr. Easley, I can't remember where he said he was from. Oh, he was around Pawnee, Oklahoma. Have you met anyone famous?
He's quite a good man.
Oh, yeah, quite a few. In your life, have you met anyone that you would consider famous or important?
Well, not too many. I don't believe that's too famous. But I've always been up with them. I don't mean that in society, but I've always been with the upper class. And as far as, you know what I mean.
Right. Did you know the Overholsers?
Yeah, it's very familiar, but I can, where they live?
Okay, they lived in Oklahoma City. They built a big house in Heritage Hills, the Overholser Mansion. Did you know Henry Overholser?
No, I didn't know him personally.
Yeah, but you knew of him.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you know any of the founders of Norman? Who was the city founders in Norman when you lived there? The city fathers.
Oh, what's the president? I knew him. You think what his name was?
Was that Boyd?
Yeah.
Dr. Boyd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Norman, and I just love living there.
Could you describe what Dr. Boyd was like?
Well, I don't know. I won't see him, but I don't know how to tell what he was like.
Was he soft-spoken, or was he always laughing, telling jokes, or what was he like?
He seemed like a real pleasant fellow as far as I can remember. I don't remember real much about him. I remember him president.
Who was the mayor of Norman?
I don't remember.
Do you remember when they moved the state capital from Guthrie to... Do you remember when they moved the capital from Guthrie to Oklahoma City?
I remember not too much about it.
Yeah, that was in 1910.
Yeah.
What was your feeling of that? Do you think they should have left it in Guthrie, or Should they have moved it to Oklahoma City? What's your feeling about that?
Well, I don't know. I heard particularly much feeling about it. It didn't make any difference with me.
Did you meet any of the territorial governors?
What's that?
Did you meet any of the territorial governors like Governor France or Governor Ferguson?
Governor Ferguson is very familiar to me. No, I don't know that.
Yeah, Ferguson was one of the governors before statehood.
Yeah.
Did you meet him?
No, I don't think so.
Did you meet Governor France?
Who?
Frank France? He was another governor.
Mm-hmm.
How about Governor Haskell?
Oh, yeah, he was pretty popular.
Did you know him?
Uh-huh.
What was he like?
Well, he's not really a real man. You know, like that doctor, you know, I feel so sorry for him. Here, you know, he has been a fine old man. Mm-hmm. But he keeps talking, he walks, he's here, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I just love old people that made so much and it's so gentlemanly.
Well, my generation owes a lot to your generation.
Huh?
My generation owes a lot to your generation.
Why do you say that?
Because it's a fact. You know, you helped build Oklahoma.
Oh, you mean your generation means a whole lot to
No, your generation means a lot to my generation. Because you built this state.
Well, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Who was your favorite governor?
Well, I don't know that I have a favorite.
What about Bill Murray? Alfalfa Bill Murray.
Yeah, I remember when I was off Bill Murray.
What was he like?
He seemed like a nice old man. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see the Indians around Norman?
Oh, yes.
What were they like? What were the Indians like?
Well, you know, I always loved everybody. You know, I loved the colored people. You know, lots of people that, you know. But I had, when my children were little, I had, we called her Andy, the lady that was with me 5 years. And we just loved her. The children called her Andy. And the youngest boy, he kissed her through the window. That's unusual. I didn't think there was a difference in a colored person and a white person. Because we're all from the same blood. And, you know, at one time I had well, it seemed like something just hit me hard right there. And it said that we would all be the same color when we got to heaven. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
It just something hit me. I felt like nothing hit me, but it just felt like something hit me and said we'll all be the same color when we get to heaven. And I believe it. Mm-hmm. And I don't mistreat colored person. Never did.
Do you have any comments to make about your life in Oklahoma?
Do
you have any comments to make about your life in Oklahoma or what you've done or the people you've met, the changes you've seen?
Well, there have been wonderful changes. And I don't know my parents when I was growing up we had this great big house. And the preachers, they used to, circuit riders, go through the country. And they'd stop and stay all night. They knew they was welcome anytime there was a special bed for the preachers to sleep on. And if they come along about dinner time, my mother would go out and bring off a chicken's neck, fix a good dinner for them. And that's the way I was raised up. And we always had the very best and nicest people around. That's worth a whole lot.
How often did the circuit riders come around?
Well, sometimes every week. I know our house was always having preachers in it.
Did you have a church there?
Yeah.
You have a church building?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Methodist church. I belong to the Methodist, but you don't make a deal to me. What church is on this? What church? Are
you okay? You're not getting tired?
Are you okay? Are you getting tired?
I'm all right.
Okay, a little while longer, but not much longer.
All right, thank you.
Leave the door open, please. Yes, I got that.
I'll be just a few more minutes. You have any more comments you'd like to make about your childhood? What was your kitchen like? Your mother's kitchen? Can you describe your mother's kitchen?
Yeah. Well, I told about these 4 rooms in the hall. No, back of that, well, we had a big dining room and kitchen. And that kitchen was always ready for us. I come home from school and I had a wonderful mother. If all young people had as good a mother as I had, our world would be different.
Can you describe what the kitchen looked like?
Well, it had cupboards all around on the wall. We put the dish in now. And had the, of course, what's it called, all around. Not beds, but what's it called?
Counters or?
Where mother worked, they go.
The counters? Or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll call them that anyway. Mm-hmm. And it was large.
Where'd you get your water? What kind of water system did you have?
Well.
Was it outside the house?
Yeah. We had this hallway and the well was right back there.
You know, some people had the pitcher pump in the kitchen. You know, the little pump in the sink.
Well, we had the well. We had the draw out of the well.
Mm-hmm. Then you had the big cast iron cook stove.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everything was big.
What kind of house did you live in Norman?
Let's see, I can see it yet. It's on, it was right off the corner of the campus. I can't think the name I usually can think of the name of the street. I can't think of it just now. I try, but anyway, it run out of, we was on that street that run out of by the corner of the campus.
Was it Asp?
No. I know what you used to call it, but I can't call it now. First time I failed to remember the name.
Was it north or south of campus?
It was south. Yes, south.
Now there's
Lindsay
Street goes by the campus.
Lindsay.
Okay, you lived right on Lindsay?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And then were you east or west of campus?
Huh?
Were you east or west of campus?
I believe it's west.
West? So you were...
What was the next street?
Going east and west and north and south?
North, south.
Well, through the university you have Asp Street. There's Porter Street.
Well, I don't remember it, but anyway, that was a street we lived on.
And was it a frame house?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. 2-story or 1-story?
It's just one story, but it was nice. Nice to have.
You don't remember the address, do you?
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. And how long did you live there?
Lived there 7 years.
In Norman?
Uh-huh.
Then where'd you move to?
The valley. Right in the valley. Oh, I loved it down there.
Which valley?
Right around the valley.
Oh.
We had 30 acres.
Okay. How long did you stay down there?
Let's see, I just don't remember how long did it stay.
What town did you
live? Through university. And then I can't hardly count up just how long.
Yeah.
We lived there quite a while.
What town did you live in?
We had 30 acres of orchard.
Okay.
That's a pretty good size orchard.
Right. You raised grapefruits?
Grapefruit, orange, every kind of fruit you could think of.
Were you near McAllen?
Let's see, what does it mean? I guess it was McAllen.
When did you come back to Oklahoma?
After my husband passed away.
When was that?
He died on his 70th birthday. And he was 3 years old. 3 years older than I was. She counted.
Mm-hmm.
We had a happy life.
Yeah. Okay, I think...
I'm sorry I couldn't give you more
No,
information.
you've done very good. I want to thank you.
Well, I enjoyed it.